Hello and welcome to another episode of AI Heroes. We're live from Insights Lighthouse at Cannes Lion. I'm delighted to be joined with Michael Nevski from Visa, Global Head of Director of Insights. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic, fantastic. First time at Cannes, or have you been before?
This is my second time in Cannes. I was guest of Insights Lighthouse last year,
Okay,
and I had a tremendous experience. And when they invited me second time in a row, I was like, sign me up.
sign
I'm
you
in
up,
it. Yeah.
sign you up. And you're speaking later today?
Yeah.
Okay, what it
Goodness.
tell everybody a little bit who isn't fortunate enough to be in the room what you're going to be speaking about.
Uh, uh, Part of my work, I focus on consumer trends, consumer insights in terms of the global trends or North America trends. And as a part of that, I look at some either new trends or how consumers currently feel.
Okay.
And in this particular presentation, I'm going to cover trust, I'm going to cover brand and loyalty, and I'm going to cover a topic of over-relying on affluent consumers.
Okay.
Because within our data, we see that although retail sales are still growing, but it's supported by less number of people. What it tells you that actually affluent consumers pulling their weight or carrying their weight and continue to spend,
Yep.
while mid-income and low-income consumers are pulling back.
Okay.
So, and it creates some risks and creates some opportunities, and that's what we're going to talk about.
Fantastic, fantastic. And then talk a little bit about the trust side of things. Obviously, as a payments company, we're seeing the world changing faster than ever with kind of online payments, online shopping behaviors driven by AI. We've seen announcements between large e-com vendors and large payment providers. How do you think about a world where potentially we've all got agents doing our shopping for us?
Yeah. Oh, that's an excellent question. My company just recently, about a month ago, had a new product drop where we're getting ready and gearing up for Agentic AI.
Yep.
And for those who don't know what Agentic AI is, it's pretty much having a equivalent of having your own personal assistant, like a bot,
Yep.
which going to be acting on your behalf. And from my research in US and Canada, we know that over 30%, over one third, almost one third of all US consumers and Canadian consumers already relying on generative AI when they do their shopping,
Yep.
whether it's a product or services. But the next step after that, you'll start relying on those bots, which are gonna start acting on our behalf. Not only, let's say you decide to travel somewhere and you tell the boat, go and source for me like a best itinerary and recommendations. That's what current generative AI would do.
Yep.
But you're going to take one step further and say, you know what, go and research and put together and acquire itinerary from your book by travel
Yep.
for the best price possible, most optimal travel with all the excursions and hospitality and everything in between. And pretty much you trusting this whole process to generative AI as an agentic AI, which is going to start acting on your behalf. And it creates the whole, I would say, a number of opportunities and challenges because on one hand, who's going to be responsible for decision-making process? What if charge-off happens? What if the dispute happens? Same time, it creates opportunities because brands need to start thinking proactively, not only how consumers perceiving them in terms of the trust, in terms of the brand, in terms of the loyalty, but also how the technology is evaluating us as brands.
Yeah.
It recommends us as brands, right, in our products and services. That creates a whole different ball game and rules of engagement. And that's what is exciting for me because we're coming to a new era where we're going to see absolutely totally different way how consumers interact with brands, how brands interacting with consumers.
Yeah, and I think it's happening at a speed. If you look at the technology shifts we've seen over time, when payments first came to light, people were like, well, maybe I'll spend $100 online, but I'd never spend $2,000 online, $5,000 online, and that bar just kept going up and up. And now we're moving into this era, as you say, of agentic approaches where your own personal bot that knows you, knows your preferences, can essentially plan and book every piece of a travel experience and go off and do that searches. But yeah, definitely does brings a lot of challenges right around that trust thing, and essentially as well you'll see brands, brands have become really good at kind of optimizing the checkout process for humans, right? The additional upsell of goods and services. Hey, you bought this, do you want to buy this? That bot is obviously probably just been told to buy the one thing. So it's going to be interesting to see the impact for brands moving forward on things like average cart size and things like that.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And will create opportunities for us as brands again. Average cart size, our frequency, how we cater products and services, what channels, social media e-commerce, mobile e-commerce. Again, it creates the opportunity to deliver also for us as insights professional, what's exciting, to deliver real-time insights. Not
Yep.
with a lag of even 1 week or 1 day, but almost instantly.
Yep.
And also creating full, deep understanding of customer journeys
Yep.
in terms of the preferences, that true 360 across different channels,
Mm-hmm.
across different products and social graphic behavior. That's really exciting time for me. So that's why I am much more optimistic than some people in my industry say technology might replace the research. No, it will not. It will create opportunities for us as insights professionals to be more efficient,
Agreed.
more effective, and actually improve our chances or create this foundation of keeping our seat at the table. Because we will be delivering those very actionable insights to our business partners, whether it's a corporate strategy, marketing, product, brand,
Yep.
media. Again, it's very exciting time we're living in.
Yeah, I completely agree. An incredibly exciting time. When you think about kind of how you've approached kind of looking at how you bring AI into your teams and across the organization, what are some of the lessons learned over the last 12 months when you've looked at different solutions, and how do you think about kind of building that kind of perfect kind of AI stack for the business?
I can only talk from the insights perspective.
Yep,
And of course, I'm still learning. It's still work in progress.
of course.
But of my company, I'm lucky enough that they got our own version of ChatGPT and Copilot and some versions of Cloud and some others almost right away.
Yep,
And setting up the system of ambassadors and ongoing training and best practices. That's what's helping actually my organization to adapt the technology. Because as you know, people sometimes reluctant to change or slow to adapt.
in
As
our
you know,
industry,
yeah.
never.
Yeah, exactly. We're the best, right? So, and actually doing by example or coming up with best use cases
Yep,
and walking people through that and helping them and have that ambassadorship and support, ongoing support, not just saying, here's the technology, go use it. And I will just monitor or kind of we touch base in 1 month and see how you're doing. You need to kind of onboard people with
Yep.
that and look for those opportunities where, for example, you know what, I actually conducted an in-depth interview IDI via Teams with Copilot transcribing a recording
Yep.
and then asking for the summary. And then I put that all together and ask Cloud, for example, to summarize all of those 10 IDIs I've done.
Yep.
And not only summarizing and providing some personas, but also asking, are there any trends I missed? Can you
Yeah.
take a look at cloud data, right? Open-ended data and tell me, are there any trends? Because my project is this,
Yep.
but maybe there are some other trends which I'm missing or some insight which I can incorporate and be much more actionable and effective, right? Translating insights into data and into monetization. So those aspects are very important. And when you provide those opportunities or share those use cases, and even an informal or more formal case where you store some use cases, everybody can access it and look at the best practices and how to use it.
Yep.
And like I said, my company provides ambassadorship, those folks who like subject matter experts who
Okay,
you
yep.
actually reach out and say, hey, I'm thinking about this. How you do this? Because we probably all know you can go on YouTube and you can watch some even YouTubers and creators who talk about the best practices. Oh, did you know that you can do 10 best things with ChatGPT?
Of
Or
course, yeah.
creating those images. And that's what we need more because we're all learning, we're all in it together. And I think that's what's gonna make us successful.
No, I agree. I agree. So the big topic of today's sessions is all about embracing the unexpected. I guess kind of what's your philosophy from a business perspective on things change? The pace of change now is more fast than ever before. So how do you deal with that, particularly in something like financial services and payments? That is again a lot more legislation, a lot more kind of red tape. So how do you balance that ever-changing world with some of the constraints of the category you're in?
Yeah, it's a great question. To me, a natural curiosity, always for especially us as insights professional. You have to constantly learn. Very cliche, but as you know, if at some point you said, I've done it all, I know it all, you should be quitting and doing something else.
Yeah.
And especially in an environment like now, when it's constantly changing, you need to constantly understand or read or learn about new policies, new legislations, new technology developments to really understand. Keep that, I check that pulse, industry pulse constantly, see what is going on. Am I missing anything? Second, you need to really approach from the perspective not only learner, but really adapter in terms of if something new shows up, as soon as you can, because definitely we have our own work and day-to-day tasks and projects, but as soon as you can, you start kind of adapting and trying to apply some of what you know, what you learn, or maybe from your peers, and how you do it. And in terms of some policy changes or privacy changes, you need to have those contingency plans, right? You need to look at the situation and say, okay, if we do it this way in this market, but what if there is a talk about upcoming changes? How is it going to modify or change our work we're doing in the market? What will be allowed? What is not? What is not? What is the contingency plan? Be ready for that, because usually people just busy to accomplish what they need to accomplish instead of being proactively thinking and being strategic and say, yes, maybe on the surface it's a waste of time for me to get ready for that, but if I know that there is a high probability it's coming, I need to think how we're going to work in the new conditions and what needs to be done for that to override it. Maybe, yes, we cannot use the PII information. I'm just making up, right? Our personal information, but maybe we can aggregate it to a certain level. Maybe we can create a segments. Maybe we can create lookalike segments, and then we will be able to overcome those policy restrictions, not even objections. So again, think proactively what is possible. Do I need to go and negotiate with my business partners how we're doing business in this market in terms of the research and privacy? Because right now we're not allowed to use certain data pieces, but maybe after the negotiation or creating a win-win situation, we will be able to do more and accomplish more in this environment. Again, you need to constantly think proactively, because the rules of engagement, changing constantly, and we need to be proactive.
For sure. How are you seeing sort of linked to that, working with your colleagues and peers and different teams around the ability to kind of reduce data silos and kind of have a more kind of complete view of the picture? Because that's always been a challenge in big organizations, right? Data spread everywhere. These people own this bit, this is there. Are you seeing breakthroughs, or are you excited about the potential of where we might get to in the next 12 to 18 months thanks to AI?
Yeah, definitely application of AI, once it sits on top of all those databases and systems, if we can connect that all via generative AI tools, that's what excites me, because AI will be able to break those silos. However, same time, us as humans, we still need to be proactive in connecting the dots and having an interdepartmental connection, maybe once a month, maybe even once a quarter, but you need to understand what your business partners are doing, what other departments are doing, so you don't run on those tangents in terms of parallel working on similar projects, especially data related or research related. You need to have more coordination, maybe using the tools which we already have right now, let's say shared point drives and stuff like that, where you can collect those. And in my company, we have a bi-weekly interdepartmental meetings where we have updates on current developments and projects we're working on. So, and sometimes, yes, we remove certain sensitive information even internally, but at least we talk about more in general what projects are in the works, what kind of data are we trying to bring or connect, what kind of vendors we're working with, so what is available, constant evaluation of our tools and our suppliers. And that's what needs to be done, because in large organizations, the probably one of the biggest challenges is working in sales. You're absolutely right, because marketing can do one thing and product can do something
sure.
else, and strategy might think about the third thing. So, and people are not talking to each other. You need to have those channels of communication by being open, and you need to keep them open.
Fantastic. Well, Michael, I know you've got your presentation a little bit later today. It's been fantastic to have you on the show. Thank you for being a guest on AI Heroes.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Likewise, appreciate so much. I really
Awesome.
enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you.